One of the biggest problems in so many marriages today did not start from cheating. It did not start from my husband is cheating on me. It did not start from my wife is cheating. Most times, this problem starts when two strangers that used to be strongly in love with each other ends up becoming strangers, despite they are still living inside the same house under the same roof. They are now total strangers. That is the sad reality. That is how so many marriages that have broken today, so many of them started this way until it becomes unbearable and they just had to go separate ways. These two people used to be in love with each other, do their things, have time for each other. They just can't wait to spend time with each other. They are so eager to talk to each other. They are so eager to call the other person. You are so eager to talk to him. You can't afford to miss his call for any reason. You look for every small opportunity that you have to connect with him, to connect with her, to meet with him, to meet with her. You can't wait to speak with him. You can't wait to speak with her, to share your story, to share what happened at work, to let him know what happened when you went to. You just can't wait. Everything was all about him. Beautiful. Life happened. You both carried that joy, that happiness, that enthusiasm, thinking with high hopes that this is how your marriage is going to be if you both end up getting married. Beautiful. Now, finally, you both got married. Reality hits both of you. Responsibilities increased. Before you could say Jack, children start coming in. You have your first child, second child, third child, fourth child, responsibilities increased. You had to move to a bigger house. Your house rent or mortgage increased. Appointments for the kids, doctor's appointments every month or every 2 months or every 3 months, like every time as much as the number of your kids are, depending on where you live. If you live in the Western world, most times every 2 3 months, one or two of your child would have to see the doctor for their checkup as they develop. The bills, the expenses, so many things to do in the house will continue to increase without even realizing it. So many couples, all this start taking your attention away from each other. Most times it's now about the kids. Have you paid the bills? Have you paid for this? What time are you coming back home? Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done this? That is how you both start checking up on each other. Most times you don't keep up with what you used to do for each other before the marriage. Those feelings, those actions you take, that eagerness, everything starts going down. The new responsibilities take over the marriage. That is where most marriages start going down, even without the couple realizing this fact. That is the reality. All this, all this continue to go on from days to weeks to months. Before you know it, to years. The marriage will start slipping out of your hands little by little. I know children are there, responsibilities are there, but when you both were making your marriage vows, whether you had it in the church, in the court, wherever that marriage was sealed, it was just the both of you. The children, they are not part of this, of your marriage promise to each other. So both of you has promised each other to stay with each other despite your difficulties and your challenges. Most couples get it wrong by dragging every other thing into the marriage. Your children are temporary blessings in your marriage. They come and they go. Both of you are expected to remain with each other. Many people end up forgetting this. These problems, this not giving attention, which is where the problem starts, not giving attention, not making effort to remain connected to each other is where it starts breaking. From days to weeks to months to years, before you know it, you get used to it. You stop showing care, you stop showing attention. You stop paying that attention because you don't want to just complain, you just prefer to remain silent. The man remains silent, the woman remains silent. This silence ends up breaking your marriage because you don't want to say anything to him because he will not understand. Then you stick to yourself. The man, you don't want to complain or you don't want to ask. You don't even want to ask because you are used to getting the same response. After all, he will say the same thing. So there is no need. That is where the problem starts. You stop paying attention. You stop checking up on each other. When was the last time you asked her how she is doing, how she is coping, and not how the work was doing? When was the last time you asked him how he is doing, how he is coping, how he is feeling? his challenges, what is bothering him, what is making him feel good, or what is making him feel bad. Where can you help fill in the gap to make him feel better? The marriage is a place where both of you are supposed to come together and help each other feel better. Most times, people forget. They tend to miss out the goal and focus on something else. When you focus on something else, the initial plan which you both have had in mind of coming into that marriage you end up missing it out. That is how the marriage will start failing from there. This is the fact, a sad reality many couples are facing today. Distance, despite you both are living in the same house, under the same roof, your heart, your mind are not close. You are sleeping and sharing the same bed, your hearts are not close to each other. There is no connection. There is no connection. When the minds are not connected, it will only take a little while for the physical presence to break out. Everyone goes their separate ways. It doesn't end well. Not being connected, or the emotional disconnection, the emotional distance may be there in the marriage, does not mean there is no solution. It can still be connected. All you need is to go back to the drawing board and look for where the problem is. Are there unresolved issues? Are there things that are in your mind that you still wish to speak out? Start from there. Apologize for things that have been, for offenses that maybe have not been apologized for. Discuss issues that have been left undiscussed. Treat these problems. Most times you can start saving your marriage from there. Most of the couples you see today standing strong, most of the couples you see today last having very long, celebrating long duration or period or years of their marriage, does not mean they don't have problems. They are not the couples that lived and enjoyed their marriage without problems. Most of them had their issues. They intentionally decided, agreed, and worked towards sticking with each other, finding time for each other, despite their busy schedule, despite their challenges. They still find that little time to remain connected. You see them fighting all through the years, they stand strong. It does not mean they never had problems. You can go back to the drawing board, trace where the problem is starting from, trace where the problem began, trace where you stopped paying attention, and start paying attention little by little. Small attention you here, there, can bring your connection back. You both can come back from there and start working strong again. Start showing up, start paying attention, start asking questions, because you need to communicate inside that marriage. You need to communicate because you are not living in his heart, neither is he living in your heart. The only way both of you can know what is happening in each other's mind or what is going on in each other's heart is by speaking it out, by talking to each other. From there, you share your goals. The same way you were doing it before the marriage. The children should not come into the marriage and change what you feel for your partner. Your children should not come into your marriage and change what you feel for your wife. You will discover some realities, some things maybe you didn't know about him, maybe when you were still courting. It shouldn't change what you feel for him or what you feel for her. Whatever you were doing to make that relationship, that friendship, that courtship sweet enough for you to proceed to the level of getting married to him or getting married to her, that should not stop. You should continue that. If only you can continue that, then your marriage can last as long as you wish it to last. It's that simple. It's that. I know it's easier said than done. You can put it into action. Don't compare your wife to any other person. Don't compare your husband to any other person. Focus on what led you both to come together. Continue doing that. Continue showing up. Continue putting that little effort. Continue creating that little time, as little as it is. If you both work or find time on your off days to still connect, you have to be intentional about it. You must be intentional. If you want it to happen automatically when those big responsibilities were not there, trust me, it will not happen. It will not come automatic. It will never happen automatically. You both have to now come together in the midst of those your responsibilities and intentionally decide, not for one person. You both have to come together and decide to make it work. If you leave the burden for one person, it will break. A successful marriage is achieved by two people who intentionally decided and want it to work. It cannot work when one person is doing it alone. So if one person continues to show up and the other person is not ready to reciprocate, it will not work. If the wife is the one that's always check up on you, ask you how you're doing, how you're coping, what are your challenges, you as a man is also not ready to reciprocate, to check up on her, ask her how she is doing, the marriage will not work. She will get tired someday, she will stop. For the marriage to work, both of you must decide, agree, and put the work into action to save your marriage. Else, it will break. This is how so many marriages end up breaking. From silence, not showing up for each other, not paying attention to each other, gradually, the beautiful union will slip away. You start wondering what happened. It didn't happen overnight. No, it's a gradual step that was being built from weeks to years to months. You couldn't manage it well. It turned out to a full-blown problem involving different kind of issues, anger, frustration, silence, lack of attention. A lot grew up in that problem. It couldn't stand anymore. Finally, it shattered. That is not my wish for you. Go back to the drawing board, trace where the problem is coming from, talk about it, apologize if necessary, forgive if necessary, move on from there. Continue showing up, paying attention to each other, caring for each other. Your marriage will come back to life again. All it takes is a little effort, intention from both of you. Continuous intention and action. See you at the top. Bye.